2025 Brazilian Grand Prix will kick off the last 4 races of the 24 season. Not many would have expected the championship would have this many topsy-turvy moments ahead of the second half of the season, but here we are. Lando Norris leads Oscar Piastri by just 1 point, and we have Max Verstappen 36 points behind, continuing to close in on every race. Sao Paulo was home to an iconic race last season when the Red Bull put on an exhibition and in essence sealed the championship. What can we expect this time round? Could be very interesting. Questions have been raised about Oscar Piastri's performance since he won in Zandvoort, and as the form has seemingly disappeared and the driver has struggled, the answer to that question is not straightforward, and the best person to address it is the Aussie. The driver who has built a very young career on a perception of his mental strength in the eye of the storm right now. The Brazilian Grand Prix will be the race that goes a long way in deciding how he is perceived. McLaren, in the hands of Lando Norris, romped off into the distance and won comfortably in Mexico. The gap was so big that it raised question marks over Max Verstappen's status as a contender. The Brazilian Grand Prix is arguably going to answer a lot of those questions as we get into the final stage. And if we look at the forecast, the Brazilian Grand Prix is expected to have rain making an appearance on all 3 days. Last season, when it rained, Max Verstappen put together a brilliant win. So yeah, many will see it as a great equaliser, and yeah, whether it ends up being a major point going into this race, who knows. But yeah, if you're looking at the form guide in general, in form, you'd have to say it's taken a scintillating performance from Oliver Bearman for many to appoint him as the next big thing for Ferrari. The British driver has had a tough start to his rookie campaign this season, but he's slowly and steadily coming to grips and put Esteban Ocon into the shade. The Brazilian Grand Prix wasn't rewarding for him last season, so yeah, he'll be looking to bounce back from that. But yeah, on the other side of the garage, it looks like Ocon struggled a bit. He hasn't looked comfortable for a while this season, and his teammate seems to be snatching great results and putting him in the shade. If it's not Lewis Hamilton coming into the Brazilian Grand Prix with the biggest spotlight, then who else could it be? He's got that love of the country, and it feels like this has surely got to be the chance for him to get his long-awaited first podium at Brazil. For Ferrari at Brazil. Red Bull, though, should be a stronger car at the Brazilian Grand Prix compared to what it had in Mexico. The rain could initially play a role in helping McLaren, a team with otherworldly rear tyre management, something that's pivotal for success in these conditions. At the same time, there are other key factors that play a role in these conditions that include having the right strategy. That's where Red Bull could have the edge over McLaren. Alpine's had the slowest car all year, so if it's a wet race, that could definitely suit them. And I think Lewis Hamilton, we know how good he is in the wet. One of his best tracks as well. I think he could go well in these conditions. Haas might not be having the best run in Brazil. For some reason, it doesn't really suit their car in the past. And yeah, I'm not really sure if wets could suit them. Similar story for Tsunoda. It feels like he's slowly getting there. Obviously still away off Verstappen, but I just don't think he would suit a wet race either. So yeah, that's who I think could have a tough weekend. On Friday at Sao Paulo, it was McLaren who were dominant, taking a 1-3 in sprint qualifying, accidentally getting second, which is quite surprising. Norris on pole, Piastri third, so a bit of an improvement by Piastri, but Norris still on top. And then Max Verstappen in sixth, just seems to be struggling all day, so yeah, really not great for his title hopes. So yeah, concerns for him. But yeah, an intriguing day, and it definitely looks like McLaren in a good position, but obviously plenty of time, as we've seen in past sprint races, where it can get turned around heading into the main race, and weather on the radar too. And before I go, let me run you through my predictions for this weekend. I'm going to say Norris will be on pole with Piastri taking the sprint. I think maybe it could be drier earlier on in the weekend. So I'm going to say, yeah, that's when the McLaren will excel. Norris seems to have had edge in qualifying. I think Piastri, though, in the sprint could go really well. He seems to be able to step into a car and get straight on it. I'm going to say Verstappen will get the win. I'm going to say it'll be a wet race and we'll have another incredible drive from Verstappen with the McLaren's riding out the podium. So decent enough, I think. But yeah, maybe not matching Max's brilliance in the wets. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share and subscribe. Follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily F1 news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.